Here's a little bit of a follow-up / warning video on the XTR strap locks. I've had 3 sets out of the 12 fail really quickly. Let's get into it. Howdy folks, this is Shane. A couple of months back I posted a video on my channel explaining why I went over to these strap locks, and I had a pretty good experience initially with them. But since then, I've had several sets fail and they're an absolute pain in the ass to try to get off your guitar. I'll show you up close what the problem is. So here's the brand I'm having trouble with. This is called XTR here in Australia. You'll see these rebranded as other types of strap locks in different parts of the world. Now see this little wheel thing? I haven't even opened this one, by the way, and I'm not going to. See this little wheel thing here? Yeah, that actually is fine. The little bolt that you get with it is fine. This lower half is also fine. So here's basically the parts I'm having trouble with. So as I said before, this part here goes into the guitar and that's fine. So yeah, that part you don't have any problems with. This particular part here is the part that goes on the strap. Now, the interesting thing with this is you pull this to basically take the strap on and off your guitar. Now, without warning, this part just falls off. It just comes off. And I had a few of them happen where I had the guitar on and then they just literally fell off. So this spring-loaded mechanism here that sort of releases the strap breaks, and the problem with it is, it's probably a bit hard to see, but in this part here isn't actually like a screw-in part. If they had have made it so you could just screw it back on, that would be fine. The problem isn't that this part falls off and you can't connect it again. The problem is that the part that it connects to is actually inside the strap lock itself. So when it falls off, you can't get the strap off the guitar. Now, the first time this happened, my neighbor was home and he's a handyman, so I borrowed his grinder and we cut it off. The second time he wasn't home, I was like, uh-oh. So this wasn't easy. I had to get a set of pliers and just start breaking them apart. So if you own these and you have exactly the same problem that I've had over numerous guitars now, you essentially just have to get some pliers and just start eating away here at the corners. And you'll basically be able to break this off pretty easily. It will bend relatively easily. It wouldn't bend under normal use, but it will bend with a set of pliers. You won't have any problems with that at all. And this is the pin here. So as you can see, once you lose this whole little connector at the end, then there's nothing you can use to pull it back up, or you can't even push it back this way either. It doesn't work because it's still going to be attached to the guitar. So it's a twofold problem where the only way to get this off is to either use a grinder or to use pliers and just rip it off. Just be careful if you do this. You don't want to be twisting the under part of this as well. Now, I did this on my PRS when it first broke, and I started twisting it, hoping I could actually just take out the screw by, you know, turning it, but it didn't work like that. I ended up scratching the bottom of the guitar. So yeah, just be really careful. If you've got these strap locks, they can break without warning under very little use as well, and sometimes they just break when you do this. I was hoping it might happen on camera, but odds are it won't. So 3 sets of these now have failed. I've got what, 10 sets of these, and some that I haven't even opened, and some that I've just, all these loose ones are the ones I've taken off my guitars, and they're going to be thrown out or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I should return them to whoever the importer is of these in Australia, or the distributor, because these are terrible. I had a lot of people ask me why I just didn't buy Dunlop strap locks. Basically, a friend of mine said he used these, and when I questioned him about it later on, he said this type, not this brand. So I was spewing. I bought them on his recommendation, but yeah, so there you go. Just to let you know too, none of these were free. I went out and purchased these, so this particular warning is for anyone who might be considering buying these. Now, if you saw my last video and you bought some and you're having no problems, that's awesome. But if you saw my last video and you were thinking of buying them, I wouldn't suggest these at all. On Instagram, I posted some photos of the problem I was having as well, which totally sucks. And I actually got DM'd some pictures of exactly the same thing happening with other brands. But the fact that 3 of these have now failed, I took them all off. I don't want to run the risk of either damaging my guitar or, you know, having to sort of butcher them to get them off the strap that's then locked onto the guitar. There's no way to remove them other than doing something drastic like that. I've actually gone back and put all the original strap poles back on the guitar. I'm gonna buy a couple of those little rubber things and try those. They're really cheap, but they're not strap locks in the true sense of it. My friend Alex has some and they work extremely well, so I'm gonna give them a go. They're like these little rubber things. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but I'll post a picture of them on screen. Now, if they don't work, I'm gonna go either the Sheller or the Dunlop route, I think, without question. One of my old Strats that I had for years came with Sheller strap locks. Had that guitar about 10 years, never had a problem with those strap locks either, so I think I'll probably play it safe and maybe spend a few extra bucks. So now I just gotta work out, what do I do with all of these? Probably chuck them out. Thanks for watching, everybody. My name's Shane. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. If you've also experienced the same problem with this brand or something that looks like this brand, post in the comments also. Let me know how you went with them. I know this isn't an uncommon problem. I'm just surprised so many failed out of the packs I've got, and I've still got some I hadn't even put on my guitars, so at least I saved myself some time as opposed to ripping them off and then putting them back on. So yeah, let me know what brand you recommend, and if there's a relevant post down below, I'll pin it up to the top of the thread. Thanks again for watching. Catch you soon. See ya.